We're here.
All right, I'm back. I apparently was partially muted because OBS decided to disacknowledge all of its settings because of the last update I had to do.
Neat.
Oh no, neat was Thursday getting ready to run Spence's into the woods, and my computer deciding it didn't want to do anything because of an update, and then faking us all out with a not quite the blue screen of death.
That's not very cash money.
No, it was not. And sitting there like we were ready to start early, and then it was 8 o'clock before we called it.
Right.
And then everybody leaves, and Chris and I get it fixed
Of course.
because that's when the update finished, and then figuring out exactly where to plug stuff into on what USB. But anyway, how y'all doing?
I am okay.
I am outstanding.
Yeah,
I thought that.
Yeah, Cannon mentioned before we started streaming, he is done with all of his concrete.
Doing the foundation work.
With the exception of the four corner shear walls that I plan on doing, but the concrete is done. It's time to move on to wood.
Nice. I spent a solid chunk of today milling down on a table saw a whole bunch of scrap wood to a 1/4 inch thickness. Because the item for folks at Extra Life this week or this year is going to be I'm making clipboards to hold character sheets out of my scrap.
Nice.
Topher is supposed to be working on a logo that I could burn into it. That's kind of to commemorate this year.
Yeah.
So, goal 1, make 6 for everybody that's at the table. Goal 2, try to make enough for absolutely everybody. We'll see where I can get to with that. So, how are things with down in Lafayette, Nox?
I mean, they are existing currently. I start work tomorrow. So
where'd you get a job?
look, company down here, Splice and Fiber. So 7 to 5 Monday to Friday. So 50 hours a week, and yeah, it's what I want to be doing, and it's not where I want to be doing it, but it's what I want to be doing, which means I'll be getting paid for people to train me to go where I want to go, which is awesome. That's just a matter of time. But it is a job, and it's a pretty good job. So I can't complain.
Nice.
What's your ultimate goal?
The working for a company, Splice and Fiber, with a friend of mine. Is one of the guys that walked, one of the guys in Moose's groomsmen with me. We've been knowing each other for years. Brad. He's got a company that doing that. And I'm essentially waiting for him to. He is waiting on getting more work, getting a new contract to be able to pick me up and take me on, and then be doing that and be riding pretty.
See, is that the one where you'd have to like go to Kentucky and stuff?
Yeah, that's where they're at right now. But go out for a couple weeks, come home for a week. Go out for a couple of weeks, come home for a week. kind of thing, or I could 7 and 7, 14 and 7, however I want to do it.
So it'll be like offshore.
So pretty much, but a whole lot less struggle, a whole lot less stress, and a whole lot less work.
Well, at least that's going in the right direction for you.
Yeah, and that's the difference in what I'm going to be doing now versus what I want to do with him is, with what I'm going to be doing now, I'll be doing business installs, which is getting fiber from the pole into a building, like literally just into the building, into the IT room, and that's it. Taking a big fiber, taking a fiber line from one pole, moving it over to the next pole, splicing it, putting it up on that pole, and then moving on, and a few other odds and ends kind of jobs like that. Whereas the other side, which is the where I want to go, it is more money for less work, which is effectively it's national it's essentially national fiber construction. So it is literally, I show up, I grab the cable, pull it into my trailer, splice it, put it back outside, and then the actual construction guys come through and hang it and put the housing up. So I don't have to lash cable and hang spans with this other one. But but as with anything, it's good to have the knowledge on how to do it. So I'm gonna take this opportunity to learn, and as with everything that I do, I'm gonna take this opportunity to learn as much as I can on how to do stuff, on how to do things associated and tangential with my job. That way, worst come to worst, it makes my job easier. If that way, I don't have to rely on somebody else to come and do it if it needs to get done. Because my biggest pet peeve in general, and especially at work, is having to wait for someone else to do something so that I can finish.
That right now, waiting for someone else to do what they're supposed to do so I can finish something is the story of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm supposed to have SLTs in, and so student learning targets for my evaluation, and have my personal growth plan, which the school's supposed to set one for me. They haven't done that yet. And then I'm supposed to set one that is going to be me stating I'm going to go to some type of training that the district itself is going to offer. Therefore, I will accomplish my personal growth plan on that aspect very easy. The problem is we currently do not have an administrator certified to actually use the system we use for all this. So I can get into the system. I can see everything from last year. I can't set anything for this school year. So I keep getting messages that I'm supposed to do this, and my only response is you're very much aware that I can't until someone over there in the office gets certified to unlock it. Kind of same thing with my AP class. We don't have a AP certified administrator anymore, so my AP class has now become honors because I can't get into College Board and access their resources or give them tests or even sign the kids up to take the test because there's nobody to approve my curriculum on campus or in the district currently.
Wow.
That is what I've been told. However, I know that the high school that's over on the other side of town has AP. But the other weird thing is supposedly my classes have not been approved by College Board for the last 4 years. But I've had access to their syllabi, their grades, their test resources. I've had access to all of that. Every last bit of it. For 3 different classes. So if I hadn't been cleared to teach that, I shouldn't have had any access to those resources.
You shouldn't have been, if you weren't able to teach that, then you shouldn't have been able to teach that.
Pretty much. So it's another one of those things, guys. It's happened to me repeatedly is I get told, this is really weird. And I'm like, yeah. Y'all need to fix this because everything that's a problem right now is above my pay grade, but it does reflect on me. So I have a concern. So, yeah, that has been an ongoing issue. Like this year is full aboard the Hot Mess Express. The kids know it, so they're trying to pull some nonsense, and several of them are learning that Mr. Hall is not new to this, and therefore their shenanigans do not do anything other than make me laugh. Like I had one this week repeatedly tell me he's going to box me, he's going to get me on the jaw. I said, all right, if you're going to do that, I'll let you take the first swing for free. Let's go. Come on, I'm bored. I've taught this lesson 8 times. What? All right, come on. If you're going to do it, let's do it. So then it started becoming a joke between us, and that's how I got him to sit down and do his work every day.
Mm-hmm.
We lost water this week for a while because the new work crew that has been brought in, one of them was operating a backhoe, was not certified to use said backhoe, had never used said backhoe or any backhoe, and busted our water main. So we lost water in my building very quickly.
Bruh.
And yeah. So what do a bunch of really dumb high school boys do when they find out there's no water in the bathroom? Several of them have been suspended. One might be expelled because they filled every toilet with either urine or poo. Like the janitor was very mad because one of them was literally like they had filled the bowl and then like took a trowel or something and smoothed it over the top. Which is absolutely disgusting, but at the same time, I gotta give them credit that they
Yeah, that's commitment to the bit.
yeah, that's 100% like you're an asshole, but you followed through.
Yeah, that's commitment to the bit.
Oh, also, I don't know if I mentioned this one a while back. I know I posted it up on Discord. We had a kid who got his girlfriend caught him cheating. So she is being expelled for poisoning because she Dukalaxed both him and the girl he cheated on her with. To the point you could hear this kid screaming in the bathroom and her, that's what you get, from out in the hallway. And again, it's one of those, you ought not have done that, but at the same time, you play a stupid game.
Yeah.
You win a stupid prize, and I'm just waiting for the moment that flabbergasts me, that happens at least once every year, where kids do something so ridiculous that all I can do is applaud them. Like, Friday, Mr. Hall, you're just going to have to do what you got to do. I've had a bad day, so if you take my phone and I got to go to the office, hell, that's just what's happening, because I am just done.
Me too, kid. Me too.
And I looked at, put your phone up at the front, and let's do the lesson. She goes, you're not going to send me the coach? No, I'm not going to send you the coach. You just gave me like the most legitimate, honest answer I've ever gotten out of a student. So, yeah. So we got, and the big thing for me, we got fall break this next week. I am going to relax. And
Good.
and that's 100% a lie.
Yeah, you're gonna, but you were going to work relaxedly.
I will go do my version of therapy.
Yeah, sawdust therapy and baby.
Yep. She's great. She is doing fantastic.
Good.
She needs to get her sleep schedule on check, but as Cannon informed me beforehand, that ain't happening.
Yeah, that will fix itself in time, or it won't. You have absolutely no say in that.
No, there's so much with babies that either it goes like this or it could be 100% not like this. This is you're on your own. You live, you die, you live again.
Mm-hmm.
Right, eternally shiny and covered in spit up.
Yep.
But actually, I had a subject for us last time we did this, and I got distracted by baby talk.
Yes.
But
Baby.
I think I sent you a message a while back of what is the oldest tool that you own and what is the oldest tool that you still actively use. Like the oldest tool I own is my pool knife that is from the 1940s. That is the oldest tool that I own, but I don't use it really that much because I don't need to strip bark off of things, and I usually use my spoke shave if I need to knock down a corner. But I found that in an antique store and cleaned it up. And it's one of the few times I was actually able to find a tool in the South that is old and still usable that was not like still full price.
Yeah.
Because there's one store here that has a bunch of really nice hand planes and block planes and molding
And
planes.
they know what they have.
And they know what they have. It's like $75-$80 for some of them.
Yeah.
The oldest tool I actually have and still use is the hammer that is in my inside tool bag that I use to hang pictures. Because I bought that's the tool I've had. Let me rephrase it. That's the tool I've had the longest. I bought that before I went and did World Changers one year, and I helped build a porch. And it is a Walmart old school 6-ounce, maybe 9-ounce hammer. Just your standard nailing hammer. And I have had that thing so long and use it so much because it's reliable. It doesn't break. It does exactly what I need it to do. I always know where that one is, unlike my other hammer that I will misplace fairly regularly out in the shop.
That's that is a question that I don't know the answer to. I have over the time and journeys that I've had and taken, I've come across a 2-foot jack plane. I have no idea. It's solid wood. Like it is wood with a hole in it with an iron in it and a wedge made out of wood that's in it, and that's all that it is. I mean, it's the basics, the most basic of basic jack planes. I have no idea how old it is. It's solid. It's old. I have a sickle. Um, no idea how old it is. It's not a folded sickle. It is a flat piece of steel, flat piece of curved steel. It was forged into a hook. Um, I've I got a spoke shave that's probably the 60s. I just refurbished a small pickaxe that's at the latest the 60s, if not upwards of the 40s. My grandfather had a lot of old tools, um, tools that came from his family and stuff like that. And he did contract work. He was a contractor doing carpentry and shit like that. He had a whole bunch of shit. Um, that I've ended up getting a hold of. I got an old. It's super thin too. But it's super hard. A double bit axe that's on the table that's in the pile to be restored. No idea. Like there is a rifle here that is it's 1890s. No, 1910 something. It's a Winchester rifle, octagon barrel, lever action, and that thing has that's back when that's not a weapon, that's a tool that has been there. That's what you had. Now you went out, you grabbed your rifle and you put on your horse and you left. That's what it that I've got. I have a suspicion that I have tools that are just as old. Turn of the century, 1900s, potentially, at least one or two pieces of old steel. I've got. I think that New Orleans profile axe that I have, which is huge, which is that thing's massive. I think that thing's 1940s, 1950s. I want to say is stamped on it, somewhere around there, like 48 or 53, something like that. And if it is necessary, if I come across it, like the and then I have my fold and draw knife. That thing's probably the 60s at least. Because that's got machined screws in it. I'll use that if I got a big piece that I need to hog stuff off of. I've got an old hatchet. I got an old roofing hammer, which is the hatchet with the hammerhead on the other side of it. I use that that's in my pretty much my normal carry when I'm doing woodworking and stuff like that, because it works well. If I need to if I need to hog a piece off, I can use the hatchet side. If I need to nail something, I can use the hammer side. That's simple. I think so. Yeah, I don't know what my oldest tool is, because there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is super old. I just don't know how old it is. If it's in my shop and I need it and I need it and it has a use, I will use it.
Oldest tool that I own and still use. On a family vacation in 2005, I picked up a crosscut saw in Wyoming that the handle was rotting off of, but it still had a piece of the wood on it. And the guy I bought it from said it was from 1890s. At one time, it had a handle on the other end so a second person could grab hold of it and help saw up wood. Well, I replaced the handle and reset the teeth and resharpened it. The blade was broken, but I used that to buck tree trunks with once they're on the ground. And on the same note that Nox was talking about, oldest tool that I officially own and don't use is an 1890s flintlock coach gun. Correction, 1790 flintlock coach gun.
Wow. But that also that brings up a discussion I got into with some coworkers, is that there are some people who will argue with you that a firearm is not a tool. And I don't even anything that even is a weapon to me is still a tool, because it was created to accomplish a certain purpose or to complete a certain task.
Well, I mean, here's where I fall on that. It's nowadays it's not. Nowadays it's a weapon. It is a weapon for defense primarily. When you're talking about for the vast majority, is it's for defense against the human creature. There are hunting and everything, but when you get into more hunting, rifles, shotguns and stuff like that are used for hunting. And to a certain extent, once you get back past a certain date, it falls more into the tool category. A pocket knife is a tool.
I mean, yeah, pocket knife.
Pick it up, put it in my. I pick it up. I put it in my pocket before I leave the house. Never know when I'm gonna need to unscrew something, clean my nails, or cut grocery bags. Do something. Never know when I'm gonna need my little folding pocket knife.
Every martial arts weapon in existence today got its start as a tool in the old world. The scythes were used to poke holes in the ground to plant rice stalks. The
Armors are just simply sickles.
Yeah, the bow staffs were used to thresh wheat.
And
So
walking sticks.
everything that is a weapon in martial arts today got its origination as a tool for farming generally, because the Japanese people were not allowed to own weapons, so they had to make use of the tools they owned.
Oh, the discussion at work came because I choose not to own a firearm. That is how I show my Second Amendment right, is I choose not to own one. I don't see a purpose in it for my household at the moment. And the way I put it is, it's a tool that I currently do not need. And that's what started the discussion with some of my coworkers, that they're like, well, it's not a tool, it's a weapon. I was like, it's still a tool. It has a very specific purpose, but every weapon out there is a tool. It serves a purpose. It has a certain job to be completed. And much like I don't need a bandsaw right now, so I also don't need a firearm, so I don't buy either one of them because I don't have a need for its use.
That is a lie. We both need a bandsaw.
That I know. That I might should use a different example on the tool.
Need a bandsaw. I got one in Kent. It's the best purchase I ever made.
Yeah,
Every tool out there, that on that line's a weapon's not a tool, but every tool's a weapon. You can take a hammer and do more damage than you can with a firearm if you're up close and personal.
Everything's a weapon if you try hard enough.
Hell, I can cut your throat with a piece of paper.
Speaking of that, I mess with my kids. Talking about that is, I told them, you got to love 1980s and 1970s propaganda, because I had to talk to them about Vladimir Putin. And I mentioned he was in the KGB, because we were talking about alternative government forms to democracy. So, and then they're like, well, what's the KGB? I was like, the KGB was like a mix between special forces and the CIA and the Soviet Union. And one of the things that they did is they released propaganda telling everybody that they knew 15 ways to kill you with a Coca-Cola bottle, because they were masters of improvised weaponry, or so they said. And they went, so, hold on. So you're saying like the dude in charge of Russia knows how to use a Coca-Cola bottle to kill somebody? It's like, technically it doesn't.
No, I'm saying the people that he leads believes it.
I said, no. They told people that. And then, of course, you get that one kid, well, you can kill somebody with a Coca-Cola bottle by shoving it up their butt. And I went,
there is a video that proves that false.
Well, when he said that, I was like, you know what? We are changing this subject. Mr. Hall didn't think this one through, because I forgot Gen Z has no chill and will go wherever they want with no F's given about anything.
Correct.
But no, it's one of those of, I will say this, I have coworkers that firearms are a jewelry piece for. And that is the only thing that ends up actually irking me with firearms. Is you have it, it is to be maintained, you should use it, it is for defense. But like my biggest thing in the Second Amendment is well maintained. If you have this, you need to take care of it. It is not for you to walk around and act like it's, look at you, you're a cowboy, or look at you, you're cosplaying a soldier today. That ends up irking me. It's kind of like the good tools mounted on a wall as decoration for Kyle.
Yeah.
Is the people who treat this thing that deserves the most respect. It's like, again, you gotta respect the table saw or it'll take off part of your finger. I know that for a fact.
Nothing wrong with an antique tool hanging on the wall, as long as
Yeah, as long as that wall is about pegboard.
as long as you're willing to take that tool down and use it when needed.
Canon, we are talking about people who have antique, perfectly usable tools hanging in their kitchen 3 inches below their crown molding, and you know it.
And see, that's the
You know the old fad with people buying up the old hand saws and painting scenes on them? When that thing started going on, I've got so many damn hand saws in my possession right now to keep them from being ruined by being painted that it ain't even funny.
Now, my grandmother did that, but she always found rusty blades that were broken and were not going to still be able to be used, and then she painted scenes around the broken parts to make it look like the moon was coming through.
That's pretty cool.
But back to the point I'm trying to make is that's one of the things that frustrates me is I have coworkers that let's say that they decided tomorrow to arm teachers in the state of Louisiana, which I'm 100% against because I don't trust most of my coworkers with a stapler.
Yeah, that's
my first and foremost thing is when someone says we need to do that with teachers, I'm like, no, we don't. There's teachers I don't trust with anything sharper than a rubber band, and some of them I don't trust with that. I mean, also too, you're not going to necessarily make it safer because I know I would lose coworkers because they would get fired because they would pull that as a way to keep their class quiet because they've seen too many movies. And that's the thing that like that lack of respect for a firearm right there is what ends up agitating me, even as someone who chooses not to own one. Is like if you're going to own it, you have to have respect for the people around you. You have to respect that weapon / that tool, and you also have to understand you do not point that son of a bitch at anything that you do not intend to fire it at. Like you do not wave it around or act like anything with it. That is, again, it is a tool that is for a specific use, and that is not its fucking use. And
I'm not even going to step up on that soapbox because what I say about it would lose me friends.
what, that teachers should be or shouldn't be armed?
Yeah.
But it's one of those like I don't trust several of the folks I know. Like also my follow up to that is all right, who's buying it? Are you going to pay for training? Because if we have it, we need to be trained in how to use it appropriately. Do I have to? Is there a certain one I have to have? Do we got to get this cleared with you, or can I bring whatever I want? You know what I mean? Like a lot of times when people start throwing that one around over here, they're just like, "Oh, this." I'm like, "Yeah, I have to buy pencils for my kids."
Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah,
I have to buy pencils for my kids because the school won't provide them. So you're telling me I have to provide my own firearm, which if that's the case, I'm showing up with a musket and a bayonet. Or I'll show up with a double barrel.
A 3-point bayonet.
Those are illegal.
Geneva, goddamn right.
That's a war crime.
You said that I could. You said anything that I wanted.
So this is a Gatling gun from the Civil War.
Yeah, all right. This is the dragon. I'm bringing the dragon.
So I mean, my thing is there's so many things connected to it that make it to where it's not even a point for me. But again, one of the biggest ones is that there's going to be enough people that don't respect it that it would cause a problem. And
things that Cannon knows that he points out that a lot of people don't realize, you can legally own a Gatling gun because it fires one round at a time and is not considered a fully automatic weapon because the trigger, when you pull the trigger, it only strikes the primer once, and then you have to rotate to reload the shell. So you don't have to have any special licensing. Anybody on the street can go out and buy a Gatling gun.
Same thing with like most of the cap and ball style early revolvers and stuff like that, like a Lamont.
You don't even have to go through a background check for those.
No, because they're not considered an actual firearm; they're considered a replica. Like you could buy a Walker revolver, one of the most powerful firearms ever made, or sidearms ever made, without having to get checked on it because it's a percussion cap weapon that just also can function as a club. Because what aren't Walkers like 6 pounds?
Another little known fact: muzzle-loading firearms are not considered loaded unless there is a cap on the nipple.
We learned that at Gettysburg. Well, I learned that at Gettysburg. But it's one of those that, again, it's one of those things that ends up aggravating me is if people don't respect the tool. So, and that extends from a chisel all the way up to a firearm.
Howitzer.
Yeah.
An ice pick is the most lethal tool anybody can ever own.
Yeah, Trotsky knows that one. Well, knew that one for a minute. But now the follow-up question I had to the old tools, and I've noticed this with some of my older ones versus the newer ones. Like, I own a set of absolute garbage Harbor Freight chisels that are made with modern, weak, cheap steel, which is not the best example. But I know that draw knife I have, and I know that one of my older hatchets and one of my older hand saws have actual good steel in it. And so the thing is that how much better is the steel from these older tools, or the metal in these older tools, than what we have today?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not. The issue that you are seeing is not a reflection of the steel back then versus the steel today. It's the fact that you're not getting steel tools today. You're getting shit tools with a maybe in steel edge. You're getting drop forged and cast tools today. You're getting less the quality. It's not the quality of the steel. It's the quality of how the tool is made.
But a lot of your new steels are alloys that weren't in production back then, and all of your older tools had hardened steel that had a higher carbon content in it. That's the reason they retain the edges longer and better.
Well, I had seen I'd watched a video not too long ago. Someone had like, excuse me, they had modern steel, or modern tool steel is what it's called, and then it had Russian steel, Chinese steel, and then it had steel from like 1944. And they did the pressure test on it because my son likes to watch the squish videos where they put everything in the hydraulic press.
Mm-hmm.
And the old steel is the one that took the longest to deform. So I didn't know if that might be something else with this.
I mean, a lot of it's also that those old tools were properly annealed and normalized, and like the forge process on them, it was done properly. Now you're having, and now you're having processes that will do the same thing, but it's your tool, the tool is going to be with those alloys. It's not going to take as well, or it's going to be more brittle.
Yeah, there was a recent article about an engine that NASA produced that they had all the blueprints on, and they knew exactly how to make it. They knew the exact process, but they couldn't make it anymore and make it work the way it was supposed to, because all the masters who knew everything about that process had passed away or moved on, and nobody knew the techniques to make it anymore.
Hmm. Well,
That's just like the samurai swords now. There's still good sword makers in Japan, but there's nobody comparable to what the sword makers in the ancient periods were capable of doing because those secrets were lost.
it's kind of like how Damascus steel today is not the Damascus steel from legends and stories.
Damascus steel today is just two types of steel forge welded together to give you a good, pretty pattern. Actual Damascus steel was like the old Japanese samurai swords. They folded and folded and folded the same metal with high carbon content. And when you get it down into a microscope, or if you etched it, you would see what looks like today's Damascus, but it was just so much better material that it was made out of.
I mean, a lot of that is the folding, all the folding and shit that went on in those with that, the folding 1,000 times. I mean, all that really does ultimately is it folds out and refines the steel so that you're losing the more you do it, the more scale comes off. The more scale comes off, the more impurities are coming out of the metal. You're getting a purer. You're cleaning the metal as it goes.
Well, guys, we are at 42 minutes, and my wife shared a couple things. So I would like y'all to watch either of the TikToks.
Matthew, this looks fucking amazing, dude.
God,
You did awesome.
I got it
Until
playing on my
somebody's got
end. I got it playing on my end, and it's loud as hell.
All right, which one do you want?
Let's see. Hold on. Which one did I click? I think I clicked the good enough construction. I'm gonna.
Matthew, this looks fucking amazing, dude. You did awesome. Until somebody's got a plug.
Bruh.
I was wondering about that. Did you get the shower done in here? I don't want what the fuck. Matthew, what a great idea. They can wash their feet now while they're in the shower, dude. Thought you might like that. I was fucked up when I came up with that idea. Well, it kind of looks like you was fucked up.
You're listening to it. I got the video playing a little bit on the stream.
Which one of you two motherfuckers think you're an engineer? Charlie, you can get them cabinet doors up. I mean, they're up. Hell yeah, that one works pretty good there. What you got? It's like a Haji shit cabinet door. Hell, we could use one of them. Well, I know you two ain't plumbers, but you fucking should be. Hell, you might be electricians after all. But one thing's for sure, you two kick that motherfucker know y'all can paint some cabinets. But y'all already know. All the imperfections, twists. It probably ain't gonna be perfect, but it's gonna be fucking good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have y'all seen? Like Emily showed me this, and I started laughing and cursing because I've seen shit like this when I've gone into houses before. Especially the PEX tubing outside the wall. Like when we were looking at buying houses, we ran into a solid amount of PEX tubing outside the wall.
You know, there's two different types of PEX, right?
I knew that there was the red and the blue.
There's PEX A and PEX B. One of them you have to have a special tool to open them up to put them on so they expand. You put them on and then they contract onto the fitting to keep it from leaking. The other one you wrap the metal bands around and you crimp them. I can't remember which one's the A and which one's the B. But problems that people are seeing is they're using the metal crimp-on banding with the PEX that requires the expander tool, and they're getting leaks and they can't figure out why. But that's because they're using a different kind of PEX than they need to.
Let's see. Also, let's take a look at 1201 McCorkle. It's just slightly up above the TikToks Emily shared. Did y'all click it?
McCorkle.
Yeah, the faux castle.
Yep.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Okay, so for the first picture, the one thing I'm going to say is I don't dig the flat roof that's over the garage apartment thingy. But that's because I hate flat roofs. Also, you could not drink at this house and expect to get up and down the stairs in one piece.
You know, or live.
Okay. Oh, there's carpet. There's outdoor carpet on top of the flat roof.
Oh, that's well. That solves that.
Oh god, everything up there has to smell so bad. Okay, so we got the stonework, and then we got the aluminum siding. Okay, the living room has a death staircase.
It does, but that's a big fucking living room.
Yeah, it has a nice
Has
view.
a nice view.
My wife wants one of those staircases.
No, I'm a chunky boy that is broader than most of those are wide. Do they have plants?
I'm trying to figure out how to do stairs in the house that would incorporate the laundry room, or at least the laundry appliances in the laundry room under the staircase, and still give her the laundry room pantry that she wants.
That is an engineering question. Are those plants on plastic, or are they over a register?
It's not plastic. This is, dude. Look at these couches. This is Grandma's house.
Yeah.
They're on plastic.
Dude, there's an elevator in number 5.
There is
100%.
Nice.
There's that is a Death Vader. Like it's cool, but also I do not care for the scissor covered elevators. Okay, another angle of the living room.
From the window to the wall.
Okay, the dining room's not bad, but them outside chairs around a folding table.
Yeah.
Oh, but the old school TV though.
My Super Nintendo's getting hooked up to that quick, fast, and in a hurry, partner.
Okay, the kitchen isn't bad other than the afterthought of an island.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this is definitely
The kitchen architectural triangle for the kitchen just does not exist.
Also, you can tell it's Mama's house because it's got the safety rail so she can put all of her tchotchkes up on top.
Yeah. And then well, I mean, you can see where the stove is supposed to go.
I think I can see where the stove is. Because then when you go to, you can see that that's a heat register over there and where the stove should be. And then...
Is that the stove in front of a door?
I think that's the stove in front of a closet.
I think maybe it moves.
Maybe it's a dishwasher?
I mean, it'd have to be. With all this shit on top of it, though. Yeah, it would have to. It might be a dishwasher.
Okay, I hate this bathroom.
Oh, yeah. I mean...
Then again, it might not be that bad, man. The wall is close enough to the toilet that if you got to like really get some,
you got a handle for it, yeah.
You got a handle, but also
you handle to bear down.
You can brace your legs on the wall.
Also, upside down lighting fixtures.
I don't hate those. That's kind of ingenious. You work with what you got.
Yeah. Ooh, that's some. Is that concrete?
I think that's concrete on the ceiling, or it's at least stucco. There's a nice little office. / other bedroom.
Huh?
Man, dude, I feel like we're in the back rooms and they're just recycling the same old TV in every room.
Oh no, that's the one. That's the one that the regular Nintendo goes on.
What about the
Let me tell you.
What about the
Let me
Genesis?
tell you something. I spent many an hour on that carpet. Now that I look at it, specifically that carpet,
I think all of us have seen that that
facing
carpet.
one of
The 80s.
facing one of those TVs, playing Final Fantasy 4, playing Final Fantasy 4, or Final Fantasy 2 at the time.
Okay, the master bathroom is not bad. It's got a bidet.
Nice. It's also got Mama's scalloped sink and Mama's chains, the chain lights
Yep, the ones that are
that plug
good.
into the wall.
Yeah, the ones that are good for anybody under 5'5".
Yeah.
Okay, and then we got another outside shot. Oh wow, that's green. I know what this room smells like.
Yeah.
Because you got the carpet, you got the faux paneling,
You got the gingham, the black and white gingham couch.
you got the thick ass curtains that hold in every cigarette that's ever been smoked in this room.
Yeah, that's dude. This smells like 1973 Parliaments.
This is also the room that we would turn into the D&D room, let's be honest.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we have to.
Okay, this bathroom is just as terrible as the other one, but it looks like there's a little bit more room by the potty.
Yeah.
The roof again. You're just looking right out at the river, right over the railroad tracks too.
It looks like you're looking right over the river into the historic district of fucking Charleston.
Yeah. Man, you gotta cross the railroad tracks to get to your house. Okay, there is Danger Deck. There's Danger Deck. That's Danger Deck, and I think that's where the elevator goes. And number 24, I think that's where the elevator goes.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like we don't. It's
Or maybe the. Well, then where the fuck is the?
That's the elevator, dude. Like you can even see the little thing over it.
No, I think that's the. That's
the spiral staircase.
The spiral staircase is there. I think the column with the W on it is the elevator, because the elevator probably goes down to the garage.
That would make sense. That's why it's double-sided.
Yeah.
This house is weird, but I don't hate it.
I mean, I like the backdoor neighbor.
Which one is that? The woods?
The forest. Yes.
It looks like there's some type of facility further down the highway.
It's only 270 grand.
All right, let's see. Where we at on time?
It is 9:16.
Yeah, we'll only do one. We'll leave those other two so that my wife's revenge on us for any jokes we make during the Monday night game get drawn out just a little bit more. I think she does this to get back at us.
I mean, if that's the way she wants to play it, then then I feel bad for you, son.
Any case,
the more she brings, the more she gets.
I think that's just how it normally goes. But let's see, recommendations. I have started watching Fix This, Build That. The guy bought a house out in the country, and he had it's like a 20 by 40 foot barn, like I should say barn, metal building. And he he has just gutted everything, and he has found everything that has existed from what was a man cave in the 80s in the wall behind all the plywood.
Nice.
Like he was breaking it down, and all of a sudden, like a whole stack of like mid 90s nudie magazines fell out from behind the plywood.
Yeah.
It's one of those of like, oh, he hit him. And then also found like, and the one that was, I figured would probably make somebody mad is there's a carton of cigarettes that had been hidden. And then gotten walled over that portion that they had been hidden in. And I was like, man, that wasn't cheap back then, even then. So I know it's not cheap now. But I've been watching that. Also, Jimmy DiResta released a video called "Don't Do This," and it's him doing a lot of things that's not normally what you'd use a table saw, a chop saw, or a bandsaw for, unless that is the only tool you have on the job site. So you learn to use it to do things that it's not meant to do. But he does what he's comfortable with in his shop, and he always says, "Don't do what I do." But it's my shop, and I'm comfortable with it, and I know how to do it. So because everybody makes comments, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, that's not safe. He did a video showing exactly how not unsafe it was. I kind of like the tongue in cheek to it, but he did follow it up with a video saying, look, when you're in your shop, do what makes you comfortable or what you're comfortable with. Don't do something because I do it. Don't do it because someone else does it. I have 40 years of experience. Other folks have even more. And if you don't have experience, you can seriously hurt yourself doing this. But since I know what I'm doing and it's my shop, I'm going to do what I want to do. Which I kind of appreciated that thought process just a little bit, like using a table saw to cut shims. I'm not going to do it, but I just thought it was neat to see it actually done. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm not doing it either.
I
Yeah.
can do it with a crosscut table.
See,
I just need a bandsaw. That's what I need a bandsaw.
the other recommendation I got is, and if somebody wants to borrow the book, it's on my bookcase. I listened to the audiobook. It's called Craft. Or how are you supposed to pronounce the AE combo from Old English? Do you know the one I'm talking like that we always used to see for the beginning of Aether?
A. And that AE sound.
But it's craft, and it's talking about the guy who wrote it works for the BBC off and on as an archaeologist. Which apparently in England, if you're going to do a building, like if you're got a building, it's always factored into the cost that they're going to have an archaeologist. Because if you're building anywhere in London, you're going to end up finding something that's a couple hundred years old, and you got to have someone come in to see what it is. If it's something that needs to be excavated, and if it's needs to be taken care of, or if it's all right, don't worry about it. It was just a fucking basement type thing.
Yeah.
And he goes from like the importance of like he starts with early tools like sticks and how that evolves into like the sickle and the shovel and the spade and just the actual benefit of making things by hand, which I fully support that logic of the importance of making something by hand. So if somebody wants to borrow the book, I will more than happily let you. It was a good listen. Cannon, you got any recommendations?
I don't know the guy's name, but recently I watched a 5-series YouTube video on building a 12 by 16 shed. And the guy who's building it don't have a lick of experience one. But when he gets into the 5th video, he starts showing how he made shelves for the inside of his shed to keep all of his tools off the ground. Other than the fact that it's not an insulated shed, the way he designed everything for his tools to sit turned out to be pretty good. I still think Kyle and I's idea of French cleats for storage is probably the best idea for storage.
100% it is if you got the space.
Yeah.
I used
If you just use a 18-inch portion of your wall and do French cleats on it, it's better utilization of space than not having anything on the wall.
at the old shop, I had French cleats running along one wall to hold all my tools. Any recommendations, Kyle?
I have been in a void of doom scrolling for the past couple of weeks, so not really, honestly. I have been up until I got the phone call that I'll to come in and do the whole job thing tomorrow. I was I was solely of the mindset of things to keep my brain occupied that didn't make me think. So I've been watching a lot of Final Fantasy IV free enterprise randomizer races and like Warhammer painting videos. Like rewatching Pete the Wargamer, doing Warhammer mod videos and stuff like that. So honestly, not really. But that's more on me than anything else.
I have been watching a bunch of videos on polishing rocks and gemstones and different techniques. And while I was making my post today about finishing the concrete on my foundation, uh, something struck me because I said that I engineered the house to hold 180,000 pounds. I was expecting somebody to say, "But you're not an engineer." And I was thinking about that aspect of things. That, well, the Wright brothers weren't engineers. Henry Ford wasn't an engineer, but they still made things. And with the ability to research on the internet now, you don't have to be an educated engineer in order to engineer things.
No, it's to find out exactly what you got to do is like one Google search. Like it's so easy to figure out exactly where you're supposed or how far apart studs are supposed to go on a wall now. But
Well, that's just like figuring out how my foundation was going to hold up. I used the sorriest ass pounds per square inch for the soil that I had, and the formula was right there on the internet. All I had to do was plug numbers in, and it came up and told me, you need this many piers in order to hold this much weight, and the spacing needs to be this. And I've been playing with Chat GPT lately because if you frame your questions right and you dive deeper into the questions as you start getting answers, you would be surprised at how well ChatGPT can educate you on any subject that you have to imagine. As an example, have y'all heard of the damp red?
Yeah.
Damp red is calcium chloride. I got into an hour-long conversation with ChatGPT about damp red and came to the conclusion and had it verified. Calcium chloride will absorb water up until it gets up until its saturation point is at 60%. So this damp red stuff they sell you, that's basically in a plastic container. The water accumulates and builds up until it touches the bottom of the calcium chloride. It becomes saturated and it doesn't work anymore. However, if you put a drain tube into that pan, or you put calcium chloride in a strainer and put a drain tube in a 5-gallon bucket, calcium chloride will continue to pull water from the atmosphere indefinitely. The only downfall to it is you've got to figure out how to dispose of the drain water safely, because it can oversaturate your ground if you put it straight into the ground. and create problems in the long run.
I did not know that.
The solution to that problem is you have the calcium chloride drain into a storage tank. When that storage tank becomes full, you swap over to a second storage tank. You let the water evaporate out of the first storage tank, and you've got calcium chloride crystals that remain in the tank, and you turn right around and put them back in your calcium chloride to remove moisture from the air.
Neat. Now, with that, guys, we've made it over an hour, so I think this would be a good time to sign off. Let's see, socials. We're teambonusaction.com. You go there. We're currently moving into our extra life mode. So if you donate to us, it will go to Batson Children's Hospital in Jackson, where my son used to go for neurology. It's a great hospital, and if you can donate, we would greatly appreciate it, because if parents don't have to worry about paying house bills versus their kids' medical bills, we've done a good thing. Also, you can find us on Facebook, Blue Sky, Threads, Instagram, and YouTube as Team Bonus Action. You can find us on Twitter at bonus_team. And since Nox is here,
we appreciate y'all hanging out with us this evening. Until next time, folks, don't let your meatloaf.
thank you for tuning in to another Bonus Roundtable podcast brought to you by Team Bonus Action. If you'd like to find more out about us, you can go to our website at teambonusaction.com, or you can check us out on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube as Team Bonus Action, or on Twitter at bonus_team. And since Nox is not here, don't let your meatloaf.